It's tnoozLIVE at ITB, presented by Travelaer. It's Martin back in the chair. Next up, we've got Jan Gerlach, who's the CEO of Peakwork, which is a dynamic packaging provider. Now, I'm maybe doing Peakwork a bit of a disservice because certainly in the UK, dynamic packaging is perceived as flight plus hotel. And I think it's got a bit more sophisticated than that. So Jan, just explain to me where we're at with the dynamic packaging software that you produce.
Yeah, so first of all, Peakwork is a connection between production and distribution side overall. So what we're doing is we're integrating lots of suppliers. It can be tour operators, it can be airlines, it can be bed banks, it can be ancillaries providers. We integrate them into our solution with a standard format, which is the EDF format. That's a standard format to integrate all that production side. And then once this is done, we can then bundle in the second when the customer requests a package, we can then bundle any hotel with any flight in exactly that second. And our technology is so powerful because we store all the information in a cache, in a high performance cache, and that allows a open search and a sub-second response for all the products that are bundled in that second.
Okay, so I'm an end user, I'm a traveller, I basically do the flight plus hotel dynamic packaging search, and quite often it's going to be Peakwork technology behind that. I mean, so some of the businesses that you're working with that I would be familiar with as a traveller, but I wouldn't necessarily know that it was Peakwork powering it.
So we're never seen as a brand. When you're on the web, you will never find the Peakwork brand, but behind the leading brands, you very often find Peakwork technology. So we're working for TUI, for example, we're working for Der Touristik, for Thomas Cook Group, so in lots of leading tourism companies, you would find our technology behind their dynamic packaging solutions.
Okay, and beyond just the sort of the dynamic packaging solutions, I mean, are you almost sort of building yield and availability and you know the whole everythingness of a package is just more than just the flight plus the hotel?
Yeah, the whole business model is completely different. As we are packaging in the second of the customer request, it allows the supplier to send in special B2B rates, so special package rates into the product that should not be shown individually. So for example, an airline wants to fill a plane. Before some days before the plane departs, they see that the plane will not be full. And certainly they have a certain price barrier they wouldn't go below because they don't want to destroy their price image in the market. And our technology allows them to send a lower fare into a package, but then it's not flight plus hotel, but it's one package product with one price that is shown to the end customer. So the end customer cannot tell if what the level of the price fare, for example, was. And this allows then price positionings for the tour operator who fulfills this that are far below just adding a flight and a hotel. So flight and hotel, or packaging is far beyond only flight and hotel.
Okay, I mean, so what other sort of combinations are you looking at? I mean, I seem to remember a few years ago there was sort of, I think some SNCF was almost doing a train plus museum ticket, and there are cruise plus flight. So other than trying to take the concept, so it's not just flight plus hotel as packaging, what other sort of combinations are you seeing, a demand from your brand, so your customers are the brands.
Yeah.
So what are they asking you to be able to dynamically package together, maybe that they weren't asking a few years ago?
So we're seeing a big trend into packaging of ancillary products. So the market is still pretty much focused on flight and hotel. But there's first of all, you mentioned train already, train and hotel, that's also happening. And then it's happening, before I switch to the ancillaries, staying with the hotel and the flight, what I think is important is that not only a tour operator is bundling, but it's the airline bundling themselves. So the airline offers a product including a hotel, but now also the hotels start offering packages including flight. So we see, first of all, a trend that a lot of new tour operators emerge in the market, because then an airline and a hotel suddenly become a tour operator. So that's the first change. And the second change is the ancillary part, where, for example, customers are very, very interested to bundle, for example, a ticket to a football match. Somebody wants to see a Champions League match, and first of all searches for his football ticket, and then in addition he wants to buy in the package a flight and a hotel according to that ticket. So and this then requires then a lot of new data integration, because then suddenly you have to integrate the ticketing systems, museum tickets, excursions, and then other types of ancillaries.
Okay, and one aspect of packaging is the way in which sort of like Metasearch sites are now sort of looking at packaging. So Metas were, back in the day, 5 years ago, however long Metas have been around, it was very much just comparing flights, and then they started comparing hotels, and then they started comparing flights plus hotels. But I mean, that must be quite a complicated tech integration to do. So I mean, what are the challenges around that, and how do you think you've overcome those challenges, assuming that you have? Yeah.
So we are integrated with the leading meta searchers such as Google, TripAdvisor, Trivago, and so on. And we are integrated with them for hotel only, but now also for package. And that there, I think we can say that we were driving the package distribution into the Metasearch, because also Metasearchers discovered that package is of course something different than just flight and hotel. And now we integrated with them on different levels. One is, apart from package, is very important, is the book on hotel or the book on flight. So that's an integration where the customer can book on the Metasearcher website, but he's not, after the search, linked out to the supplier's website. And as there's then no break between the search on the Metasearcher and because there's no link out, the conversion rate is much higher. And this is very interesting to the tour operators, because the marketing cost is the same on the Metasearch, but as the conversion is far higher, the cost per booking for the tour operator is far lower. So this is very interesting, this book on or facilitated book. And for the package part, we are also integrated now, for example, with Google. So you can search on Google for a package, and then Google searches with their Peakwork hub into the players of the tour operators that we provide.
So the technical term, I don't think it's you fulfill the bookings on the book with Google Metasearch site, but you provide the inventory into that.
We provide the inventory and the booking connection. Okay. So take an example, a customer searches in the US on Google a Lufthansa flight, for example. He wants to travel from Las Vegas to Frankfurt. He selects a flight, and then he stays with his mobile. He stays on the Google site, and he's not linked out to the Lufthansa page to do the booking. But if he's registered with Google, and then he has all his personal data and payment data already integrated there, then he can book directly on the Google page. And what's happening behind the scenes is that we are connecting Google and the Lufthansa reservation system, and we send behind the scenes the booking into the Lufthansa reservation system. Okay. And this is a very advanced technology that, as I said, leads to very high conversion rates that were not seen before, because you can imagine if you search something and then you suddenly find a good result, say I might like it, you click on it, and then you're linked out to another web page that has a completely different look. So you have to look first, where can I book, where can I type in my information, and then the customer gets lost in that process quite often. So in the book on, this does not happen. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned there as an example somebody in the US searching for a flight from Vegas to Frankfurt from the US. I mean, is your technology globally scalable? So you can sort of plug Peakwork into any any sort of consumer brand could plug in the Peakwork technology independent of where they're based? Or I mean, are you just very much focused around Europe?
No. That is actually the advantage of our technology, that it's not a central solution where we have some central cache where the information is stored, but we only provide the software to our partners, and that can be installed anywhere in the world. So we are currently expanding into the Russian market, into the Chinese market, into the North American market. So we go far beyond Europe. And how is that possible? It's the what we call the player. That's the caching instance is stored with the individual partner that we have. And that makes it so flexible. And then once the information is stored in this player, it can be connected to any hub in the world. So if the product, as the Lufthansa example, is actually stored in Europe, in Germany, when Google has an international hub in the US, they can connect with this hub very easily to a player which sits in Germany, and that makes the network so powerful in the world.
Okay, so just in terms of you said you worked with TUI, you worked with Google, and you're looking into China and Russia. So it seems as if your expansion plans are fairly sort of comprehensive, as it is. So I mean, just in terms of sort of taking the business forward, I mean, is it getting that sub-second results down to a sub-second? Is it just getting more inventory? So how can you what's the plan to take the business forward, to take Peakwork forward?
Well, so mainly it's of course it's onboarding new partners. So we want to grow with more partners, and we actually do.
So you mean partners as in sort of
partners,
brands?
so new brands, new tour operators, new distribution partners. And in the beginning with Peakwork, the projects that we did were quite complex. It was a lot of detailed engineering work, also quite customized with our individual partners. And what we're currently doing now is that we transfer the whole Peakwork technology to a Docker container-based environment, which is far easier to be set up. So the onboarding process gets much faster now. And this is that helps us speeding up the expansion globally.
So that's just another way of trying to get it's the integration of Peakwork into the supplier is now taking less time.
It's taking less time, less engineering power from the supplier or from our partner, because we also often saw that our partners have a lack in engineering capacity. So they said, well, we're interested in your technology, but we don't have a project team who can do the integration now. And as this onboarding process gets always easier, of course we can onboard more partners.
Okay, I mean that's fascinating. I mean, I just think the way in which like the end user, the traveller, has very little idea about what's going on in the background, and there's some really, really complicated and clever stuff happening behind the scenes. And I think as consumers are getting a bit sort of blasé about having search results returned in sub-second. They don't know the pain that goes on behind. So all right, well, I think we might be breaking for lunch now. Jan Gerlach, CEO of Peakwork, thanks very much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
And as I said, tnoozLIVE at ITB, presented by Travelaer. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.